So the first thing I'd like to do is I want to make these so they're not symmetrical anymore. I'm going to make little pegs that are male and female so they register with each other. So it makes it really easy to line the two pieces up. So I'm going to start off by going to mount left. And we are going to turn the visibility off on this plane just because it's ugly. And I'm going to start a sketch on the end of this. Now these are kind of thin, so we're going to be sort of clever how we build our things. I'm a big fan of using the slot tool because that gives you a direction and a thing. So I'm going to put one there, one here, and probably one here. Now, we need to size those and set them. But first of all, I'm going to make this one parallel to this side here. I'm going to dimension this to be, I don't know, 0.05. Ooh, it just went crazy. Control Z. Sometimes Inventor does that. Is it will if you set a dimension, it'll try to scale things to make it fit, and that will move things around too much. So I'm going to start dimensioning stuff beforehand. So I want that to be 0.5. I want to pick nice even numbers here. I'm going to center this one about the end of here. Control Z. And I'm going to center this one about this side here. I also want to take, and I know I want this thing centered here. This distance here is some number. I'm just going to accept it. And this number here is some number. I'm just going to accept it. And I'm going to take and now dimension this from here to here to be this number /2. And I'm going to set this one here to here to be this number divided by 2. Now let's go back and set this dimension here. 0.05. 0.05. And 0.05. Nope. So let's go 0.035. Now I'm going to dimension this guy from here, dimension from here to here. And I'm going to set that to like 0.05. That looks good enough. I didn't mention the lengths here, so I'm going to mention this. And if I want a real dimension, I can right click and get an aligned dimension, and it'll give me the overall length, not the just X length. 0.3. Now these numbers are kind of arbitrary. They don't really matter. What matters is that when we do the other one, we pick the same values. So I'm going to finish sketch. And I think I'm going to make this one I'm going to make these two male and that one, I'll make all three male. And we're only going to go out 0.1 and 0.05. Make sure I actually pick valid numbers. And I want to add a taper, a negative 10-degree taper. And it's going to make these sort of keys that automatically self-align. And that gives me a lot of room when I'm trying to plug stuff together. I'm now also going to add a fillet to the outside here, and here. Probably a fairly small number, like 0.05. Nope, let's go 0.02. And I'm going to add a similar fillet to the bottoms. Probably 0.01. I want to be not past the edge. So now, when we make our next thing, we're going to take and make the area slightly larger. We're at a small tolerance. Actually, let's go back to that last sketch. Let's do the tolerance on the small side. That usually works a little better because they're already close. So I'm going to go to each of these values here. And I'm going to subtract off 0.01. Copy that string. That's going to shrink them just a hair. We should probably do the same thing in the lengths. Nope, don't have to, just at the radius, because the radius will shrink it in all directions because it's a radial dimension. So finish sketch, accept, and our fillets might have died. I'm going to go back to this fillet, and we're going to make it smaller. Let's make it 0.015. Now I can go back to my, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to open up Mount Right, and I'm going to turn around and hide this work plane and start a sketch on this surface here. Now, it'd be really nice to be able to see both what I'm doing at once. So I'm going to take, and if I click on this number here, I'm going to also check that. And then I'm going to go tile vertically. All right, this shows me all my things. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to close this right now. Save changes. Yes to all. Hit OK. Yes to all. And I'm also going to close mount. In fact, before I do anything else, I'm going to delete this feature, because if I ever get a large enough printer, I won't have to do all this work to split it. It makes the whole project much easier. Now I can see my two parts side by side. This is going to make making the other side really easy. We'll see that in the next video.